I am the Queen of Zandalar, and a queen kneels to no one.
They should use their minds to save the world, instead of devising ways to tear it apart.
No, not while the Black Moon still cries out for vengeance. Not until the Horde has answered for its treachery.
The war is serving its purpose. Stay focused on the endgame. You know what is to come.
The two essential weapons of an adventurer. A bottle of good gin and a jar of tasty jam. This is Girls Gone WoW!
Hello, you're listening to Girls Gone WoW, show 691, recorded on Sunday the 28th of June 2026. I'm your host EJ, and with me I have my lovely co-host Raven. How are you, and how melty are you as of today?
Oh, well, we couldn't have done this yesterday. In fact, we couldn't have done this any other day this week. I've had to turn the computers off as soon as I've finished work. I've spent most of this week in this flat with the temperature inside the flat being somewhere between 34 and 36. Maybe dropping a little bit by this time of night, but actually not dropping very quickly. By sort of lunchtime it's been over 30, and then late afternoon it's been up to about 36 in here this week. So I did send a couple of emails. I shuffled some money around, did some things, had a nice conversation with somebody at a bank. That's not true. I didn't have to have a conversation with somebody. You just press some buttons. Please, can I have some money? I will hopefully be talking to somebody very soon about air conditioning.
Ah, yes.
Because this cannot continue. This is ridiculous. It's been wild. It's been so. In case you're in America and you don't know what's been happening over here, we've had a wild heat wave across the whole of Europe. So the UK got caught in it for this week, but there's been a heat dome in effect across most of continental Europe. So it's been 40 degrees in Paris, 40 degrees across most of sort of central and southern France, actually. Up to about, I think this weekend it was supposed to be 40 degrees in Germany. It's now heading eastward. So they were reporting 41 in Czechia, similar temperatures in Poland, sort of now moving into next week. So we've had this huge high pressure system that has brought, it got to, I think the highest temperature. So we had a very rare red warning for temperature in the UK, and ironically, slightly embarrassingly for the Met Office, I think the hottest place in the UK was in Suffolk, and it was 37.4 degrees or something like that, which was actually outside the red temperature warning area. I don't quite understand how that worked, but London.
I think everything melted. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, London was about 36. Got to about 35 where I am in Buckinghamshire. So we've had a week.
Yes, and our houses are all built to retain heat.
Yes.
Which used to be a thing we wanted to do, but not quite the ideal at the moment. So
Not quite
everyone's been melty.
Yeah.
I hope everyone's kept as safe as they possibly can, and kept themselves safe. And if they've got pet friends, keep their pet friends safe.
River's had a lot of ice cubes this week. I keep I get these giant ice cubes, and I've just been constantly putting a new bowl with a new giant ice cube kind of next to her every 3 or 4 hours. And because they make a little cracking noise as they're melting, that seems to be enough to remind her to have a little drink.
I like this. It's a little bit like when, we make a gin and tonic and we get that lovely noise.
Yeah, you get that lovely little...
Yeah, we're like, I should drink some of that. Lovely. Very nice. Yes, the cats. I've spent the week telling cat owners to put their cat yogurty treats in the fridge.
Yeah, we did some of that as well.
Do they like that? I'm like, absolutely like change it. And they're like, ah, brilliant. So yes. So I hope everyone is safe and I hope everyone is well. What's been happening this week apart from the UK melting? Well, the running of the Trolls event has been happening this weekend. It's in its 7th year. It's an annual community organised charity event in support of the Trevor Project, a non-profit support and suicide prevention program for LGBTQIA plus young people. This year, Blizzard have launched an in-game holiday to go along at the same time called the Darkspear Dash, inspired by the community event.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to the show currently, you've got until 11:59 p.m. today to take part.
As long as you're Horde.
Yeah. So for an event based around inclusivity, what they've done is not made it inclusive.
No,
Which is
it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I just sometimes wonder if Blizzard is intentionally shooting themselves in both feet. It feels kind of planned at this point. So yeah, it's Horde only, and you can't do it on a level 1 because it runs through some high enemy areas and you will get murdered if you do it on a level 1. So you
and
need
also not what you want happening during this event.
No, so you will need a grown-up Horde, which just seems a little bit strange to me. Obviously, although the running of the Trolls is called the running of the Trolls, they do have a gnome version, and also different people do it on there's different events on different servers, and yeah. Also, Simon says if you're over level 45, you need to have done the Horde BFA starter quest. Amazing.
Otherwise, so basically what happens is they've got all these beautiful rainbow arches that you run through across the 2 zones. But if you've not done these quests, as you get close to Orgrimmar,
they all phase out.
Everything phases out. Yeah.
Oh, Blizzard. Yeah. Like, okay.
And you need the one at Orgrimmar because that gives you a portal to the other island, so you can carry on running through Western Plaguelands and Eastern Plaguelands and up into Silvermoon. So,
okay, well,
love the idea that they've
10
done
out of 10
this.
for effort.
Thinks it needs a little bit more work for next year.
Yeah, maybe. We could just maybe sit down and think this through a little bit more. So if you're on the Alliance and maybe you're not doing the Darkspear Dash, from now until the 5th of July, the Midsummer Fire Festival has returned. Obviously the UK and Europe have been taking this extremely seriously. It's had an upgrade, as well as seeing a Hoon every day to take about his ice tomb and possibly obtain the new Sun Festival's painted rock mount, which is a big bird thing that's fire coloured. You can take a flight across Azeroth with some new aerial quests where you will follow the stories of Midsummer from both a Sunwalker and a Wildhammer storyteller. There are new transmogs and fires which you can honour or desecrate as you see fit, and there are things in the new Midnight Zones. So yeah, that's nice.
These are really cute. I did these so because there's loads of new transmog, and if you want all the transmog and all the new things, you're going to need a lot of petals. Let's say they're petals. I can't remember what they are. They look like petals in my bag.
I don't know what they are.
I was like, and I did the calculations, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to go and open up all of the fires. The great thing about doing the new quests, they're adorable because so basically you start in your starting city, so Orgrimmar or Silvermoon, and you get sent up into the air, and there are all these beautiful flowers in orbs, and you fly through X number of flowers. And whilst you're doing it, the NPC is telling you the first part of the story about Midsummer and whether it relates to the dwarves or the Taurans. And then they're like, okay, you've done it here. Now go and collect all the flowers above Elwyn Forest. And you can fly there directly, or they put in these little slipstreams, so you can just put your mount in the slipstream and it goes super fast, and you don't have to use any of your charges to go super fast.
Nice.
It super fast whizzes you to the next one, so it doesn't take very long to do at all. But the other good thing is if you do it the way I did, when I got whizzed to a new area, I collected all of my flowers, and then before I took the next super highway to the next place, I went and visited all the nearby fires and got all my petals for honouring or
Right.
desecrating the fires. Because so to get everything new that had turned up, and I think it was all new stuff this year, I had to do a full clear of all the fires, all the new quests, and then I had to take a second character out and desecrate sort of desecrate and honor 2/3 of the fires in every almost every expansion apart from classic.
Oh God.
Yeah, there was a lot of like it was really weird because there are these transmog items that might drop from the bag you get from a hoon, but you're not guaranteed that they drop.
Great.
So you could wait and see if they drop off a hoon. Great, because I had a cloak. Or you could buy them off a vendor. But they were all priced at a different amount. Like some of them were like 50 petals and some of them were like 150 petals. And I'm like, why are these all not just 50 petals? Why are some of these worth more numbers of petals? It didn't really make any sense. It felt like they'd done some weird sort of currency conversion from like buying something with gold to buying it with petals for
Right.
like, and I was just like, no, just make everything 50 petals. It doesn't need to be like this many petals. So yeah, there was a weird pricing structure.
Oh.
Yes, Benny, and you're right. Yes, when you're flying through the flowers in the air, some of them have got a special outline on them, and you get
Right.
3 petals instead of 1
Oh.
petal. Yeah, so like the story was lovely, and it was really, I didn't realize I was going to get it from both points of view because I started with I can't remember why I started. Oh, I was leveling a character, so I started on the Horde side, and then I was like, oh, I wonder what happens if you go and do it from Alliance side. I went over, and then like a dwarf started talking to me. I'm like, yay, different story with the dwarf. So I really like the update. I think it's a really nice update. I think some of the pricing of the transmog is weird. But apart from that, it's really it's a really nice update. I thought it was lovely. It's nice to be like, why have we got this festival? What's this all
What's
about? And
going
why's
on?
yeah, I mean, I know there's the chap with his ice tomb, but yeah, no. Also, they've put the quest because there is a quest you get initially the first time for going to see a hoon. They've put the quest giver and the quest hander in. Is a Tauren as you zone in. Oh, and you no
Nice.
longer zone in at the start of that dungeon and have to
Oh.
run all the way through. You
Thank
now zone in
goodness.
at the start of that cave as well. I was like, oh, thank God for that. So yeah, like basically 2 thumbs up. I think it's been a really good upgrade of an event.
Oh.
And I will keep killing a hoon because I think that's a very pretty mount.
Well, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, okay, so this is where all Blizzard's attention was. They let the intern do the dark spear dash.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and there's bad luck protection apparently on the mount. So yeah, just do it once a day. Bad luck protection is apparently in place for that mount.
Okay.
Yeah. So topic for the week isn't just the heat.
I mean, it could be.
It could be, yep. So topic of the week. No, it's the end of the world, but I've just got to go to a party. Yes, I decided it was time for us to talk about all the side events that have been happening in Midnight. Because I know we've talked about them a little bit here and there, but we hadn't actually sort of dedicated a show to it.
No.
And by side events, I'm talking about the big 4 that turned up with the expansion. So that's the soiree, where you get to hold a party in Eversong, because of course you do. That's elves for you. The abundance with Dun Dun. Everybody likes to run around with a very enthusiastic lower, telling you about the glorious abundance that is happening. There's the
Haranir
Legends of
Legends.
Haranir,
Yep.
which yep, and then there's that one in Voidstorm that
Oh,
nobody
the
wants to talk
Stormarion
about.
Citadel. Yes.
That's it. Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes.
So Raven, tell us your thoughts about these things.
Well, mostly they're rubbish. I like the not the abundance. I like the legends. The Harandir legends are they are really cool. They're a really cool piece of storytelling. You get to go into a little sort of, you know, the little scenario, and you get to learn some stuff, and you get to, and they don't take very long. And there's books to read, and those like, I think those are really nice. Those are a really nice piece of like just a nice piece of storytelling, and they're also time limited in that there's only so many of them, although you can go back and redo them, but there's, you know, there's only 8 or whatever. So I think that's a really, really, really good piece of like storytelling and a really good piece of content. It's really nice. The others, it's not a very interesting party. And most of being at the party doesn't involve being at the party.
No, that's true.
So you wander in and you're like, hello, I'd like to help you with the party. And you do a little bit of helping with the party, like you serve some wine and you tidy up a bit and you tell the lady what song she should sing and those kinds of things. And then you go and do some quests somewhere else. And then you come back again. I didn't, like the first time I did it, I was really confused by it. It's like, okay, I thought there would be more party in my party. And nobody seems to be enjoying the party. Like, they're all just like standing around. It's like one of those, it's like everybody's decided to go to a grown-up cocktail party, but nobody really understands what to do.
Yes. Like, don't pick up that coaster, or you know, don't talk to that person, or I don't know what to say, and I'm not very good at small talk. It's one of those sort of parties.
And also everybody who's at the party hates each other. So you've got all the different factions are at the party, and they all hate each other. So, you know.
To be fair, I think we've all been to a party or two like that.
Yeah. I mean, the side quests are particularly quick that you have to do. So you pick up some feathers, or you go and hand out some invitations, or you go and like click on some, there's quite a lot of go and click on some things. There's a couple of go and kill things, but it's mostly go and click on stuff. I mean, they're very quick, but yeah, most of being at the party didn't involve being at the party, which I found a little bit confusing. Abundance, I just find the whole thing confusing. I've done it a few times. I don't really understand. I just don't really understand it. I mean, I understand the like basic principle, but occasionally things are being shouted or like things ping up on the screen and I don't really know what they mean. But I mean, it's really quick, I suppose. So fine. And the Stormarion Citadel is an absolute fucking disaster of an event and should never have happened. It's like, it's the opposite of the others in that there's so much waiting around. I mean, it's like what we were saying about the void assault, like the big void assault. There's just so much waiting around. You're like, there's like a minute and a half of like, in a minute we're gonna have to do a thing before you even start it. So like when you first zone in when it's supposed to be starting, there's a minute and a half of and here we are we're waiting for it to start. Like it's a fucking tennis match. Like I just like what? We're just waiting for we're waiting for the enemy to come up the hill, and then you have 3 minutes of like go click and put the defenses in, and you're like, we could have been doing this for like the last minute and a half, but you decided that we have to spend the first minute and a half standing still and I don't know, waiting for the enemy to get a bit closer so that when we're putting the defenses in, we do it a bit like it all seems a bit more, I don't know, it's weird. And then there are just really long gaps between the sections. So now that everybody's a bit overgeared, you sort of kill everything and then you have to wait around. In fact, when I say now, I mean last time I did it was like 6 weeks ago, and even then it was like you just wait. It's just lots of waiting around, and not very exciting. So I think the legend was that was really interesting. Really liked that. Not particularly sold on any of the rest of them. How are you finding them?
Okay, so the party. As soon as I got to the party, I was like, oh, okay, because like like in the previous version of this zone, you had to go and like help with a party. So I liked the fact that it harked back to things we have previously done here. I'm like, okay, we're still doing a party. And then pretty quickly I was like, oh, this is the Venthyr tea party, but with wine. Instead of blood, because I don't think the tea party
Yeah,
was
I mean,
tea.
I mean, the blood elves are. I mean, the blood elves are weird, but they're not that weird. Like,
Yeah. And as soon as I realized that's what it was, I was like, oh, well, okay, I'm very comfortable with this. I've just got to try and make friends with everybody. Okay, I get it. And I found I like it because it's there and it's one of the events that will give you there's a cash you can get the first couple of times you do an event. So actually my alts go and do it because it quite often got them a piece of gear
yeah.
without having to do too much. And it wasn't very arduous and it's quite quick. I mean, sometimes if you're on a low level, the protecting the rune stone is a
Oh,
little bit tricky unless somebody
yeah.
else
I'd
turns up.
forgotten
But
it.
actually there's
I'd
usually
forgotten about
people
the
turn up
fortifying.
pretty quick.
Yeah, usually when you get to the big boss, somebody will turn up and help you fortify the runestone. I'd
Yeah.
forgotten about the runestone bit. The runestone bit is a bit more irritating, just because if you're on your own, and these days you are, like actually doing the initial bit of the runestone can fucking take ages. Like, just there's usually some like stage 1 where you have to
Yes.
kill
Oh,
lots
you've
of
got to like fill
things.
the bar. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that can
and
take
that can
forever.
just drag on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, I don't mind the party. Like everybody, I'm friends with everybody. They get very excited anytime one of my alts flies over. Um, there's some like cute transmog on the vendors because you unlock a vendor for each of the party guests. So there's like a cute outfit depending on who you've unlocked. There's only a couple of professions recipes that are hidden away on those things as well. So you know if you've got a particular, I think it was inscription and I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, there were only a couple of recipes locked away. And I'm sure there was a pet or there's a pet and a mount and stuff. Like easy ways of collecting pets and mounts. There was a bit of decor as well. And I quite like
Of
other ways.
course.
I was like, oh, you're going to give me some party stuff as decor. Great, lovely. Once I've earned enough marl, I'll come back and spend it on you. And actually, I've got to the point in the expansion now where I was like, oh, I might have enough marl. So I went and like did some shopping because they were my
Right.
friends. And like I came away and I was like, oh, I really enjoyed this party. Thanks very much.
Yes.
Yeah, don't mind the party. The party was fine, apart from like if you've got a low level alt and there's
Yeah.
nobody around who wants to help you with a runestone. Dun Dun. I love a Dun. I love Dun Dun. I mean, even when I've done like 8 of those things in a row and he's been yelling at me, he never gets on my nerves.
Okay.
His voice is just lovely. I find him very, like, I just want Dun Dun to be my friend. Um, the so the abundance event is now much better that you can spend all 8 shards of Dun Dun in one go. Love that. That's great. So you
Yeah.
just find yourself a little raid party, you're in there for 3 minutes and you're collecting all your points so you can buy some stuff, but the important thing is you can buy the fused vitality, which you need 20 of for making each of your professions, either your like
Yeah,
gear
yeah.
or the weapons. So it's a little thing I do every week so that I can, and I've started to have enough now where I've started to be able to make those or get somebody to
Nice.
craft those for me, which is nice. So it feels like a thing I'm slowly working on. But initially when that event came out, I'm like, I do love you, Dun Dun, but I don't understand why I'm doing this.
No.
It took me a while until I realized what I was doing it for. It is the only problem with it is if you try and do one of those things on your own, you get so little points. The only way to get a good amount of points and to sort of tick it over so that you can do the weekly quest and things like that is to do it in a group. Now, the good thing is there are still groups always in LFG that are running it. I've never had a problem finding a group for doing that. But overall, like, I don't mind Dun Dun. I understand what he's there for, and then he's very enthusiastic and he makes me feel very happy. So I don't mind him. Where are we going next? Haranir. Love it. I mean, what's not to love about that? Apart from the way they originally launched the quest, and then they were like, "Oh, you're only supposed to be able to do this once a week. Sorry, we should lock that down." It's like, yeah, you should have done that before we started. But hey ho, no, love the little bits of lore. Love understanding more about the Haranir. Love the decor that came off it. And yeah, like you say, they don't take very long, and
Yeah.
they're all slightly different.
Yeah.
Even the one where you have to fly through all of the hoops around the whole zone in a really, really quite protracted route. Even that one I didn't mind. So lovely love that. We get to Void Storm. Yeah, the problem with that event is, like you say, it takes too long. Like, I don't understand why you need a minute and a half between each set of like starting the event. And if you're the only person there, it does seem to scale a bit better than it did initially, but it's very easy in that last stage to just get completely overwhelmed, at which point the event fails, and then you're like, great, well, I've spent 20 minutes for nothing, which is really irritating.
Yeah, that is really irritating.
Like, I know some people like the sort of protect the flag type thing, but it just doesn't hit. It doesn't feel like it feels like there's an optimum number of people to make it work well. And you're not always guaranteed that there's going to be enough people around to make it work well. Otherwise I just think you feel overwhelmed, and it takes so long.
Yeah, it just takes a really long time.
20 minutes to 20 minutes to hang around doing like a couple of minutes of like, no, very badly timed. Don't like that one. So yeah, 3 out of 4. I enjoy this one. No, thank you. Let's not do that again. Or if we do it, let's not spend a minute and a half like looking at our fingernails.
It's also not entirely clear to me what the thing is that we're protecting.
No, they just say we have to protect this thing, and you're like, okay. I mean, because we're adventurers and we do the things that they tell us. We sometimes get ourselves in the wrong sort of situation, but yeah, it's important and we have to protect it. I couldn't tell you why it's important.
No,
what it's doing.
The nice thing about the Haranir one is that it's obviously really obvious what we're doing. And I mean, at least the Tea Party or whatever, like it thematically works. And as you say, it's a callback to the old questing in Ghostlands. But I mean, and Dun moves around, so that's fine. It seems like reasonable, but I don't understand why the Stormarion Citadel is there. I don't understand why there's a thing out the front. I don't like. If you want it protected, maybe you should put it inside. Like, why have you left it sitting out in this courtyard?
Build a dome over it or something.
Like, why don't you just
or put some permanent barricades up?
Yes, put some permanent barricades up. Wouldn't that be good? Like, if this is such an important thing, why have you just left it sitting out here? It just seems really bizarre to me. And it's not like it almost would have been more effective if it was like, I don't know, the raid entrance or something. Like if there was something that you were protecting, or like an entrance to the dungeon or something that you're like, okay, so this is a thing that is in the storyline going on before the raid can be entered. And obviously that doesn't mean, I mean, that also might mean that occasionally more people would be around, because people could just sort of do a little bit whilst they were waiting for their raid to pop. But I just don't really get it. I wasn't paying attention. The storytelling in Voidstorm's not great anyway. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know what it's there for, and it's a little bit confusing.
So 3 out of 4 thumbs up, basically. So that's what we thought. What about you, lovely people? We are going to find out what Salmus thought.
This is Salmus reporting in for this week's topic, a little something on the side. Most of these zone activities, save Legends of the Haranir, are just better if done in a group with friends. That said, they are fairly easily done alone too, except the Stormarion assault. My warband is at maximum reputation for the Court of Silvermoon, so attending the soiree with my main doesn't make a lot of sense. So I sent my leveling Demon Hunter tank to the party. From completing the 3 token of favor quests and protecting the runestone, I was able to get almost half a level. Not amazing, but not bad. It would be nice to get maximum reputation with all the party factions, but it is not one of my first priorities for now. Abundance just got a lot better for me in this latest patch. The ability to run it once using all 8 of my shards of Dun is amazing. I sent Salamis in and dropped in 8 shards. I received 7,200 unalloyed abundance. With those, I bought 6 bags of herbs. When I opened them, I found 59 Argent Leaf, 56 Mana Lily, 68 Sanguithorn, 51 Azurite, 118 Tranquility Bloom, and 4 Nocturnal Lotus. So, a nice return for just a little time spent. When I did this for skinning materials, I got a lot of leather and scales, some hides and plating, but no majestic pieces, which is what my leather worker needs most right now. The shards of Dun drop from just about any gathering task. I even got 3 of them in a few minutes by fishing in open water. One thing I noticed, I farmed up 8 shards, then went to the appropriate abundance site. When I spoke to Chell the Chip to pick up the weekly quest, she gave me 2 more shards. But since I had 8 already, I lost the 2 she gave me. Note to self, don't collect 8 shards before picking up that quest. I had mostly forgotten about the Harandar legends, but thanks to the show topic reminder, I did my 3rd one, and was surprised by a follow-up quest that includes Orwena. Now I'm intrigued, and can't wait for the next few weeks to follow up and do the rest of them. The storytelling in these quests are quite good. I think the Stormarion assaults are this expansion's Awaken the Machine. The concept was good, but the execution feels like it was up against a deadline and never got quite finished. I will not do this with a melee class. I've done it several times on my Warlock, and I find it fun enough. The main trouble I have is that I haven't done much adventuring in the Voidstorm, so I never have very many Stormarion cores. So maybe I can put up 3 defenses at most. If there are a bunch of other players participating, well and good. If there aren't, I'm out of luck. The activity doesn't give many, if at all. The last one I successfully completed awarded me 7 of them, not enough to build even 1 defense. There should be some pointer in the activity on how to farm up more of them. On Wowhead, people complained about having thousands of cores with nothing to spend them on, so I must be missing something pretty basic. All in all, I'm glad Blizzard tried these out, and I hope they learn from them. Some of them are great fun for some of us, and for a game like WoW, that's about the best you can hope for. Selmas out.
I've got stacks and stacks and stacks of those cores, and I think I've got them because I think I've got them from boxes that I've opened, like treasure boxes I've opened up in Voidstorm. And also, I suspect I'm getting some of them. I always go up every day and I do 3 quests up in the Slayer's Rise.
Right.
Because I'm working very slowly on the Slayer's Rise reputation. And I think that's where a lot of mine are coming from. I think they're coming out of from like doing quests and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, Samus, you're very right. That event sucks.
Yes.
And Samus also thinks that Dun is voiced by Darren DePaul, so that would explain
why it's
I
such an
find
amazing.
Dun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yes, absolutely. Thanks, Samus. Ams says, honestly, I'm not sure any of the events, bar the Harandir, are things I'd do if I wasn't trying to get rep for Renown or Void like Marl. I really loved the idea behind the soiree. I just think the execution was a bit flawed and could have been much better. The whole kill things for a bar for a big thing to spawn a stone, yawn, next. Abundance sounded a lot more fun pre-nerf, although I never got in there early enough, and could have been fun if it wasn't time-gated and mandatory grind for profession gear. That made it irksome for me. Would have been less irksome for just titles or transmog. Something entirely cosmetics. The Harandir Legends was really good, and I enjoyed all of them. It was a pity there wasn't much replayability to them, but I really, really, really enjoyed the story. I did think the raid being the end thing was a bit of a letdown. Worst kept secret. What rock was Orwena hiding under that she needed to be told about it? Was she not popping in weekly? What I did love was the whole insinuated to be continued about it, though. Storm thingy, I'm not even going to bother to refer to its actual name. Yawn. Please die in fire and never come back. What absolute shitfuckery even was that? And what sadist designer thought it would be enjoyable? Blah. Multiple blah. I mean, not
Yeah.
quite sure how Em feels about that last one.
No, tell us what you really feel, Ems. Tell us what you really feel. On the money as usual, though. Trey says, I like having options to play and get my vault filled outside of the usual. However, I could do without the pressure of having to do all the things to get all the things. Also, try not to have them all light up when you hit 90 and have the story done. Abundance isn't much fun as one would think it would be. Side note, stop yelling so much, Dun Dun.
No, no, Trey, no.
Legends was cool, still working on that because I managed to break something and needed a week for it to work again. Soiree feels like high school when you want to be part of everything but people get upset when you're part of their thing. I do think it's good that these world events count towards the vault. I think that is actually really good, because it does give you an easy way to get some vault items, although they're not especially high level ones, but like it does give you an easy way of getting some vault items if you need it.
And they do, if you're leveling alts, they award an absolutely metric shed ton of XP, so they're really worth doing every week. If you've got an alt and you're very happy to level them really slowly, log them in once a week, do the 3 events, and you'll get there in no time. It's one of the things I've been doing when I've been trying to level up is I take them. I've got a very sort of, I'll talk about this later, but I've got a sort of route that I now do if I'm leveling an alt, and this is very much a part of it because of the amount of XP it gives you. Marie says, I like stories and dislike fill a bar or kill things until a boss appears. Suffice to say, Haranir Legends gets an A, the Soiree gets a C+, and just about everyone else gets a D for do it once.
Fair enough. We should just issue scorecards for everything. Finally, Pastor Matt says, I like the Soiree, kind of interesting and not too annoying. Haranir Legends are also interesting, lots of lore. I've only done Abundance a few times, got nothing bad to say about it. You can just burn the Stormarion Assault to the ground. I've done it once and won't be doing it again. Okay. Pretty...
So we all feel the same about Voidstorm.
Pretty unanimous there on the Stormarion Citadel, yeah.
Yeah, and then varying degrees of thought about the other 3.
Well, so everybody liked the Haranir Legend.
Oh yes, no, that's true. Yes, so we all hate the Voidstorm.
All hate the Voidstorm.
We all like the
love
Haranir.
the Legend.
Yes.
Everything else is
various opinions about the other 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair dues. Well, I mean, it's sorry, somebody nearby is having a party and they've just turned their music on.
Oh no.
And just got quite an eclectic. So I'll be saying something and a new song starts and I'm like, what is that? Okay, I do apologise. They've completely thrown my train of thought. But basically, basically good news if you're trying to level an alt, go and do the 3 events that we've been talking about.
Okay. Sorry, I took a sip of water at the wrong moment then. This is the point where I remind you that if you're enjoying the show, perhaps you could give us a like or post a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. We're hoping to try and grow our audience a bit this year, and we'd love you to help us reach new people. Oh dear. I can't read. This is a bad start. We would love for you to join our Discord channel. Come to bit.ly/ggw-discord. You can watch our live show on Sundays at 8 PM London time or midday Pacific at twitch.tv/silkyraven.
Well, that brings us to previously on the Cassunda Chronicles, Cass and Candae prayed for guidance from the light about the current situation. They were surprised to find out they were not alone.
Oh.
The Cassunda Chronicles, Dockwork, Part 7. Greetings and salutations, my friends. 'Tis I, Cassunda. We sat in that little chapel. Cande, myself, Tragar, my old handler from SI7, and a couple of other senior members. We were talking about what to do about the situation. Tragar had told us he knew where their leader lived. Apparently, his actions had led him to a place of trust. He'd managed to wheedle himself in. He'd never got his hands dirty, apparently. He managed to be on the edge of things, tidy up, shall we say. As with when he helped me, he span that round to him being the only survivor. Apparently the black eye and the stab in the shoulder helped add to that illusion. I asked him how his shoulder was. He just grunted and patted it. The main problem is, if we need to get any further, we need to keep this leader alive. Find out who he reports to. Having seen the way this is working, there's always someone higher up the ladder. But we learned our lesson last time. My old handler nodded. Yes, we need to learn from that one. Killing her under our very noses before we could question her didn't work useful. I do have someone I captured, and they're being held in a secure facility, but she has only told us as much as she knows. She doesn't know who she reported to. It was dead drops and things like that. I don't think they fully trusted her. This guy seems more trusted, boss. Boss Traeger? Sorry. I'm used to talking to him. There's no way you're my boss. There was a chuckle between the two of us there, which had the others look a bit confused. My old handler looked at me. There is one thing we could do. If we can take him alive, there's one place we could put him where no one would find him. Something about the way he looked at me stopped me in my train of thought. You don't mean there? Yes. Desperate times call for desperate measures, do they not? It would solve our problem, but what do they say? Fate worse than death. These people are causing problems. Normally we use that place for the worst of the worst. But sometimes... Traegar was looking between the pair of us. Oh, I don't think I really want to be asking this. Shall I leave while you have this discussion? No, Traegar. You're as much involved in this as anyone. I think the only one here that isn't fully involved is Our Lady of the Light here. If I might, if she needs to be involved. Can they look confused? She is as much part of this as anyone. Anyone knowing me will now know of my fondness for this lovely lady. Fondness being a loose word, really. It's more than that. For all the will in the world, I actually think Candy blushed at that point. She needs to know. So you're talking the Aeneum, then? It would solve our problems. No one would get to him. Well, only select few could even get there. What is this place? It's a prison of sorts, my friend. Well, put it this way. You know this rather unique banking system we have in this lovely world we call home? Wherever you go, you find a bank and your stuff can be reached, yes? Yes, some sort of magical whatever they call it, system. Exactly. There's a prison like that. What? Yes. It's for the worst of the worst. they're stored in some form of sleep, not sleep, and can be called forward to be talked to, or just left. It's not so much as though you don't exist, it's as though you never were. Huh. And you want to put him there. Well, it's going to stop anyone finding him, and means we can talk to him. I think we need to talk about this further, my friends. How about we go to the pub? That got a smile from everybody, and that's where we're going. I'll let you know what happens, my friends. I'll be seeing you.
Well, I'm not sure you should be discussing this in the pub.
Dimension prison.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was not expecting Pocket Dimension prison today.
No. Gosh. Okay. Well, there we go. Yeah. I'd be careful what bars you're discussing that in, little friend.
Absolutely. I would say stay safe, but I don't think it's you. That's not to worry.
No. No, I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. Raven, have you managed to do any gaming in the heat, or have you just been trying to not melt?
This is the first time this week this computer's been switched on.
Okay.
Like my laptop, I've been on my work laptop obviously all week, which is sitting next to it. But this is pretty much the first time this week the big computer's been switched on. There's no way. There's no way I could have turned the big computer on any evening this week. I've mostly been lying on the floor in front of the aircon, trying not to die. So no, not set foot in Azeroth this week, or indeed anywhere else. But I did watch a program called, like a series called Widow's Bay on Apple TV. And it's really good. It's like a sort of suspense kind of comedy thing. And it was really good. So I have spent some time sitting in front of the aircon watching that. But aside from that, I have not been I have not done anything. No.
Sounds very sensible. Thankfully, we have aircon.
Yes,
Symes is very sensible.
Yes.
And weirdly, I was like unconvinced about us doing it for a while. I don't know. I was obviously heat. I was obviously too hot, and my brain wasn't working when I was like, "Do we need that?" Yes, we do.
Yeah, I can't remember what year did you move? Like 2011 or something. It wasn't as warm then.
No, that's very true. So I have been able to turn the computer on. So the second new zone of the patch opened up this week because they're all alternating. So the frozen wastes of Val. It feels like they've just forgotten the rest of the name there, but it's just called Val.
It's just called Val. Okay.
Just called Val. It feels about not even half. It feels like less than half the size of the other place, and I don't feel like the quests are ticking over as quickly. And also, weirdly, there's like some achievements that go with this, and I have ticked off everything for the Najtal ones in week 1, but it's not physically possible to tick them all off for Val in the first week that Val's up, and I'm like, this is weird. Why would you set things up like that? So I thought I might be over and done with it by the end of this week, but no. Next time Val comes back, I'll obviously have to come back because there's some more story I need to do.
Oh.
So it's a bit confusing. But on the positive side, it has been, like I have to say, both of these zones, Val less than Najtal, they're really good for leveling alts on. They're really good doing them on. Symes is saying that both zones have several storylines which will unlock over several weeks. Okay, but then weirdly, they've only attached. Okay, they've set their achievement up really weirdly. Then thanks, love. So I'll have to keep popping back. But yes, so they've been really good for leveling alts. So I've leveled, I want to say 3 alts this week.
Wow. Okay.
I think that, yeah. So everybody's got their like 3.5 bars of rested because they've all been in the pub since midnight dropped. So I
Right.
went and found them all. Weirdly, one of them had PvP enabled, and that really confused me until I
Oh.
got murdered by somebody. And I'm like, how did the guy murder me? And then I was like, and I'm looking through all my bars, and I happened to flick open my talent page, and I'm like, why am I PvP enabled on this? I've
Oh.
got no idea. Yeah,
You
don't know
must
what
have been
happened
doing
there.
something.
God knows what. I just didn't understand that at all. So anyway, but apart from that, so I've now got a sort of routine for leveling. So I go and do the 3 good events that we've just talked about, and all of them are gatherers of some sort. So I always go and make sure that I gather things as I go past, because extra mats are extra mats. That always helps. Um, and then I have been running the Nudgetal or Val, and I haven't been taking the option where it says, "You've done this stuff before. Would you like to just tick the box and like not
Right.
do the quest?" And I'm like, "No, no,
We'll
no,
do them all
don't
again.
do that. That's useful XP. It doesn't take very long.
Yeah.
It's useful XP. It starts gearing you up." And so yeah, I've just been sort of cycling around doing that. And a couple of times I find that I'm a bit short, so maybe I'll go and do the delve that's in Silvermoon, because you can pick up the delve quest like off a little scroll underneath it,
Right.
and run through there, because delves, the XP on delves has been increased on those delve quests. They've really
Yeah.
increased the XP drop on those. Um, and yeah, without too much effort. And the great thing is as well, initially when you first go in, if you're out to like mine, they are quite undergeared. They were undergeared for the end of the expansion because, again, previously I leveled them up and then just sort of ignored them and occasionally threw them some like warband loot. So initially it's a little,
Oh.
oh gosh, maybe just pull one thing. Um, but as things went on, everybody was okay. So I got the evoker done, which got a lot better after I realised that weirdly somehow she'd got Spectre's augmentation instead of devastation,
Oh.
and I was like,
like, why is this
she-
not doing any damage? It's like she
I'm like,
needs
I'm like,
some
I know
friends to
that
buff.
people don't, and I'm like, I know this is like my least favourite class, but I don't understand why this is so bad. And where are all those spells I used to have? And Symes walked over at one point. He's like, "Why are you leveling as augmentation?" And I'm like, "You doing what?" And then I went in, and I was like, so again, one of my characters was flagged for PvP. My evoker had become an augmentation for
Oh.
knows
Oh.
what reason. So, there was a pet you could only get as augmentation. Is that what I did? Is that why? Thank you. Maybe that's why. And then
Yeah,
I just
maybe that's
forgot to
why.
respec her back.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that it became better. I mean, I still think out of everything I've leveled so far, and the only thing the only I've got left are the rogue and the demon hunter.
Okay.
I still think evoker, even with the right spec,
Yeah.
is the one that felt most clunky with the single button assistant.
Right.
Because these alts that I don't play very often, I've just been
Yeah,
like,
just
no,
single
let's have some
buttoning.
of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
single
yeah.
button stuff. Absolutely. Which meant, so yesterday I finished leveling my Death Knight.
They are
And it's
they are all
probably,
quite similar now. Like
yeah, it begins with a D. Which one is it? Yeah. No, and it's the first time I've leveled that, and I actually haven't been sort of like tearing my hair out with it. Because I sort of worked out where my oh shit buttons were, and I love the death grip button. That's my favourite button. You over there, come here. Yoink. Lovely. Great.
yoink.
By the end of it, I was actually able to pull sort of like several things at once and actually deal with
Nice.
it. And I had my emergency give me health button. So yeah, that's probably the most fun I've had with a Death Knight ever, probably. Also, she looks amazing. She's an undead with like a pink mohawk.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
Oh my god.
Death Knight
She
hair has
just
always been the
looks
best hair.
She just looks so good. I'm so pleased with her. So yes, so I've got 2 more to level, and then everybody's leveled. Which means I've got space in my war war bank because I've had things waiting until like things were grown up. And being able to spend like doing the stuff in these new zones, you get so many field accolades, which you can turn into champion gear if you want it to be warbound now, or you can turn it into heroic gear if you're keeping it for yourself. So it's just really simple to gear everybody up. Like by the time they'd hit, so I give them 1,000 gold because none of them have any gold on them. So
Yes.
we'd go to the back, give them 1,000 gold. And by the time they hit level 90, they've all earned about 20k. They've all got
Nice.
about 400 field accolades, so they can all get 4 pieces of champion gear straight off. So it's just been a really pleasant way of doing it. So yeah, that's sort of been my big thing this week. I
Oh.
did go and do the Darkspear run. In fact, my Death Knight went and did that. So she was an undead pink hair, pink mohawked Death Knight with a stream of rainbows behind her
Nice.
last night.
Nice.
Oh, it was so pleasing. The whole night was
Nice.
so pleasing. Really enjoyed that. I also one of my alts did all of the bonfires, because that's actually always a good way of getting XP and stuff if you're leveling something. So Simon's saying the heroic gearboxes are now also warbound, but you can't pick the slot on that, isn't it? It's a random heroic one for the warbound ones, I believe.
Oh.
They hotfix that in, because at one point it was still unless you were buying them for yourself. Like if you're buying them for yourself, you could get a specific piece of heroic gear. But I think there was still
These
the
all sound
option
very
for like a
confusing.
random
Yeah.
warbound one. I mean, they really have put a lot of work into thinking, okay, how can you easily gear up your warband, especially if you've got a main and then like a field of alts. And there are loads of different ways to try and help with that. I don't feel at any point before my band of alts have been as geared as they currently are, without trying too much,
Yeah.
which is really
nice.
pleasing.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, really pleasing. So Warbound for slots now. Oh, okay. They have changed that.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, we can.
well, there you go.
Yes, we can work out those details in due course.
There you go. So it's just become even better than I thought it was, and I was already quite pleased.
Well, there we go.
So, what have the rest of you been up to? I was so pleased with this bit of news. Renata has just passed her 3-month anniversary working at Blizzard for the Diablo community department. So congratulations!
So excited you went straight past Salmus, but this is very exciting. Well done, Renata.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was so excited. I'm going to read this one and then we'll go back to Salmus. Sorry,
Okay.
Salmus, I was just very excited.
I was like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing now. Nice.
Sorry, I'm having a shiny brain moment. I apologise. Anyway, Renata. So she's having an amazing experience with everyone being kind, patient, and encouraging. She's super busy in the run-up to an expansion release and BlizzCon.
Oof.
So she's having to take a little WoW break at the moment, but she's keeping up with the news and the podcast. If you're going to BlizzCon, let her know. Going has always been on her bucket list as press, and now she gets to go with Blizzard credentials. I mean, this is just
amazing.
I couldn't stop smiling when I read this. This has made me so pleased. It's the only reason I'm like sad to not be going to BlizzCon.
I know.
This year, because
I know.
I was just like, oh, sad, but yay. Yeah. So yes, huge congratulations. So excited. I ran over Salmus.
You just ran straight over Salmus's slot in the show.
Sorry, Salmus. Sorry.
Well, let's hear what Salmus has been up to now, shall we?
Hello, Raven and DJ. This is Salmus, the alchemical rogue, reporting in for my week in WoW. Friends and family opened the way to Nighttal and proceeded to swear at the strange new bouncy grapply traversal mechanics. I think a few of us are just going to stay on the ground and admire the mushrooms from below. Rexual Healing took on Rotmeyer on normal. We killed him, put him on a pizza, and decided to try him on heroic difficulty. We weren't able to kill that version of him yet, not even with Pineapple, so we switched to heroic Voidzilla in the Spire. We got closer than previously in that fight, but we haven't got it yet. I was able to start exploring Val, which is a fresh change from Florida in the summer. I need to poke around a bit more. I hear there are caves. I like caves. I heard that higher tier ritual sites could be worthwhile, so I started ranking up. They unlock like Del tiers, one at a time. The difficulty ramps up quickly, and I began to learn how to handle the different challenge affixes. I was able to complete a tier 5, which felt great. I can get to the final boss of tier 6, but after several wipes, I figure I'm going to need help. I just don't have all the interrupts I need. Thank you all. Salmus out.
The interrupt situation in this expansion continues to vex me greatly. As a druid, it doesn't have very many interrupts.
Yeah, that last, so particularly the boss, in fact, specifically the boss in Zulaman ritual sites.
Yeah,
is an absolute.
I'd need to
he's a bellend. I
quadruple
don't
the
like him.
number of fucking interrupts I have available to me. Like, it's just, yeah. I barely got through it on like 3 or something.
I think the only reason my warlock gets through it is because I take my blueberry and I just burn, like I throw as many chaos bolts as I can, and I just keep my blueberry up as much as I can, and I just try and ignore everybody else. And actually, if I ignore them, the blueberry aggroes them all. But yeah, he's just. Yeah, there's just not enough. You either need to give us you need to give everyone better interrupts, or you need to let us interrupt quicker than we currently can, or you need to think about not putting 57 interruptible things on a boss. Maybe.
Yeah, it's tricky. Marie has finished all the Delve stories, so once she's completed July's trading post, she will pause her sub until the next big story drop, which will be approximately 1 month, because it's 12th, isn't it mid-August?
July 7th. Well, also there's the July 7th Zul'Jan stuff, isn't there?
Oh, yes, okay. Yes, Zul'Jan is arriving on July 7th, so yeah, good luck with good luck with the pause, Marie. There might be more stuff coming, but the next patch is August the 11th, 12th.
We had a date for that.
I have a feeling that I thought I saw somebody. I thought I saw a date, but maybe I'm making it up. She highly recommends.
There's been speculation for like mid-August, but I don't think we've actually had a confirmation on a date yet.
Okay, I mean, I was hallucinating a lot this week, so like maybe I'm making it up. She highly recommends The Root Trees Are Dead, as she's finished the second part. She is also getting back to Witchlight in the family D&D, and has installed Collector's Cove on the Steam Deck for hospital waiting. Oh, that seems like a good thing to have available.
Pastor Matt took a couple of weeks off WoW and played Stellar Blade, then New Game Plus. He's back in WoW since with some delves and profession stuff, while also dipping a toe into Najtal and some daily runs to Ahun. He's also started playing Crimson Desert, which is a great game with lots to do. And finally, congratulations to his stepdaughter, who got married on Friday, and it was fantabulous.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Also, good use of fantabulous. I've not heard that for ages, and it was very pleasing reading that earlier.
Yes. Very, very, very good use of the English language. Yeah. Ams has mostly been working on achievements in WoW, Glory of the Undermined raid, and some War Within raids on Mythic. Did Ritual T6 for the quest. Ticked off all the midnight raids on Heroic. He popped into Heroic Najatal and Val and rolled his eyes so hard he got conjunctivitis. No! Ams genuinely does have conjunctivitis. I really, really, really hope that clears up quickly. It's horrible. And finally cleared off the 25 assaults in Eversong and the 100 kills for the Cosmic Exterminator. So just need 10 more in Zulaman for the meta, and then is never doing them ever again. In Pocopia, he's been building on a cloud island and slowly making Bleak Beach less bleak. Very good. Very good. I hope the conjunctivitis clears up soon, though.
Absolutely. Yes. I have not been able to get into Pocopia because it's Switch 2 only.
Oh no!
Yes.
Are you gonna have to?
Yes.
Are you gonna have to think about making the Switch at some point? Is this making the Switch?
Well, making the Switch. Ha ha ha. Well, that might possibly be a plan that is somewhat underway, as in the Nintendo showcase recently, they've remastered Ocarina of Jam.
I did see that
Ocarina
they'd.
of Jam.
Yeah, I did see that they'd done an Ocarina of Jam remaster. I did think
Yeah,
of you when I saw that.
Yeah, I got a couple of text messages from Symes going, "This is relevant to your interest, and also it's your birthday coming up." And I'm like,
Oh, yay! Nice. Very good.
So,
And they'll probably do
yeah.
some. They'll probably do some Animal Crossing or something soon, right?
Oh, will we? Oh my gosh! Okay, on big Animal Crossing news, we're not
Oh.
going anywhere until we've talked about this.
Okay, sorry everyone.
Sorry everyone. And this is I mean, I know this is a podcast, but still, look.
Oh my goodness! It's
So,
a little teacup.
It's a little teacup. It's a Brewster teacup. The Nintendo shop online currently has a whole load of Animal Crossing merchandise, and you can get an actual teacup from Brewster's Cafe. I mean, obviously, I need one of those. Of course, I do. So they did a Nintendo pop-up shop in what's the place called that's over by Shepherd's Bush and is also in Stratford?
Westfield.
That's
Westfield.
it. Yes, which is the nearest we have to a mall type scenario. But it was hot and I didn't want to get on the tube all the way to either of those places.
No, nobody wants to go to Shebu and nobody wants to go to Stratford. This is like every time I go to Westfield, I'm like, why have I had to come to Westfield? It's always really annoying. But occasionally that is where we keep our shopping mall. So
yes.
Sometimes you have to go to
yes,
Westfield.
if you two love Animal Crossing and you would like a Brewster's cup and saucer with Brewster on them, go to the Nintendo shop online
store. Okay,
they've got them, and it made me very, very happy. So yay! Well, that will be us for this week because it's hot and melty, and want everyone to sort of do things that aren't involved with hot and melty things. So, if you want to get in touch with us, the best place to find us is no, there's one more thing before we do that. You and I now have our first non-you and I, apart from Signs, you and I member in our guild.
Okay, this is a very caveated sentence. Yes, we have opened up our Vanity Guild for EU members.
That's where it is.
That's where it is. It's in the EU, so you'll have to be on the EU in order to join. So yes, we have opened up membership. I was going to do something more constructive with it this week, and then EJ had to do it because I haven't turned my computer on and I don't have any aircon. But yes, we are now accepting EU members to what was formerly our Vanity Guild,
yes.
And I'm glad we didn't have to change the name.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we asked, and everyone said no. The name's great, and we were like, yes, it is. So if you want to be a part of the Prosecco
initiative, yes.
So it's just if you want a safe space to put a character, and hopefully there'll be other nice people there to have a chat with, and we're not planning to do anything overly exciting. It's just if you want a safe place to have as your home place, and to not get all those weird invites that happen occasionally, then absolutely come and find us on Discord. We can make it happen.
Yes.
Now, if you want to get in touch with us, the best place to find us is on Discord at bit.ly/ggw-discord. We'd also love it if you'd drop us a follow over on Blue Sky at GGW Show, or subscribe on YouTube at GGW Show. Remember, if you've enjoyed the show, if you could drop us a like, follow, or a little review on the platform of your choice, it'll help other people to find us.
Next week, patch 12.0.7. Share your thoughts on the new content that dropped with the patch. How do you feel about the pattern of content that certain patches now seem to regularly drop? Yes, tell us what you think about the 2 new zones and the other bits and pieces.
Thank you for listening each and every week. Stay safe, hydrate, and we'll see you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.